Hi, it's Wendy Walker here from St.Bart's Church. Well, hasn't our story moved on? One day Jesus is riding into Jerusalem with the crowd shouting his name. The next he is in the garden called Gethsemane outside the city walls, and he's praying and feeling very alone. How did it all come to this? Judas, one of Jesus' friends, has agreed to betray him into the hands of the priests. So he brings armed guards to the garden to arrest Jesus. Peter, one of Jesus' disciples, decides to follow Jesus at a distance. He is scared, but something makes him try to see what happens next.
Oh, you found me. I've been hiding here all night. I tell you, last night, it was very strange. I'm just so ashamed of what I've done. I mean, right from the word go, when Jesus knelt down and washed our feet, it was going to be very different. After the meal, we all went out to the Garden of Gethsemane to pray, and it was really late. And I just couldn't keep my eyes open. I fell asleep. And when I woke up, I could see there was Jesus ahead of me, just there, and he was praying, and I could see that something was troubling him. And then it all happened. There was a big noise, and we could see a light coming through the garden, and it was Judas, and he had some of the priest's guards with him as well. And with that, Judas came up to Jesus and said hello, and the guards, they rushed up and they grabbed hold of Jesus and they tied him up. They had swords, they had spears, they had flaming torches. We were so afraid. Me and the other disciples, we legged it. Well, they grabbed hold of Jesus and they led him out of the garden back to the city. I didn't want to get caught, but I wanted to find out what was going on, so I followed in the distance, in the dark, hiding in the shadows. And they led Jesus into the city, through the streets to the temple, and into the huge courtyard. And there was a great big crowd of people there. And they held on to Jesus there, waiting for the priests to come out. And again, I wanted to find out what was going on. So I hid myself in the temple, in the courts, in the shadows. But it was in the middle of the night and it was freezing. And then some of the servants in the temple, they lit a huge, great big bonfire to keep warm. And I thought, I'll risk it. I need to get some warmth. So I came out and I stood with the rest of them, just keeping my hands warm, watching Jesus over the other side of the courtyard. And then I realised everyone around the fire, they were looking at me. One of the servant girls said, "I know you. You're with that Jesus, aren't you?" And I said, No, I'm not. No. Went on a little bit longer. And one of the guards that was warming himself by the fire said, "Yes, you are. You've got the same accent as Jesus. You're from the same part of the country as him." "No, I'm not. I don't know who this Jesus is." And then another one said, "I'm sure you're one of Jesus' friends. You talk just like him. Look, leave me alone," I said. "I don't know who this man is." And then somewhere out in the city, a cockerel crowed. And I realised what I'd done. It was just as Jesus had said. He'd said that by the time it got to morning, I would have told people, not just once, not twice, but 3 times, I didn't know him. And I'd just done it. And with that, I got up and I ran out of the courtyard and through the city and out into the town, into the woods to hide. And I found this tree and I've just sat down and I sobbed and I've sobbed and I sobbed. And I've been here all this time. Oh, I am just ashamed of what I've done. I've let Jesus down. Oh, what will people think of me? Look, just leave me alone so I can just be here on my own.
It's a difficult story to listen to. A friend who betrays you, who hands you over to others and takes money for doing it. Another who's been with you for 3 years, refuses to acknowledge that they were ever your friend or even knew you. I wonder if you've ever been let down by anyone. I remember when I was about the same age as some of you, I had a selection box as a present. A selection box contains an assortment of chocolate bars. But a cousin of mine came to visit our house, and when he went home, I found that he had eaten one of my chocolate bars. And I wasn't looking, and without asking my permission. It was horrible. I felt really sad and very hurt. Now, as we see the lighted candle, I invite you to be still for a second and to think about what it feels like to be let down.
Let's think for a moment about how we might help someone who's been let down. What we might say to them, or what we might help them with. You see, Peter had certainly let Jesus down, but Jesus has certainly not finished with Peter yet. Later in our story, we'll see how Jesus tried to get Peter back into friendship with him. But that bit of the story is for later. For now, I'd like you to explore together what you could do to help someone who's been let down. Or maybe they're just upset about something. Whatever the cause of their sadness might be, what might you do to encourage them and to help them?